Hello, my name's Jess and I'm here today to talk to you about Bradley's Blow Up Band Night in a reflective way. This was in aid of the Bradley Lowry Foundation, and we as a group put on a live event in terms of a live music night to support the Bradley Lowry Foundation. When looking at this, due to the lack of knowledge that we had, we based our whole event planning process on the Project Management Body of Knowledge module. This is a structured and systematic approach and ensures that no little details were forgotten. The model ensures and identifies 5 process groups, which include initiation, planning, executing, and controlling and closing. And this is what we based our whole live event process on. So when looking at initiation, the first thing we did was idea development, and this was through brainstorming and mind mapping ideas. By doing this, it enabled us to look at the feasibility of ideas. For example, we ruled out a live boxing night due to that being unfeasible, and eventually decided to go for a live music night. After doing this, we then were able to produce a project charter, which allowed us to set some original goals, which were to raise as much funds and awareness as possible, to create an engaging event and an entertaining event, as well as having fun. After a short amount of time, we actually realised that these goals weren't smart in terms of being measurable for success, so amended these to have an attendance of at least 75 people at the event, to raise funds for the Bradley Lowry Foundation at a ratio of at least 1:4 by the 20th of March, and to ensure our event is run within the guidelines of the health and safety policies through the implementation of things such as a risk assessment and public liability insurance. From this, we then created a mission statement. This was to create an engaging and entertaining event with the hope to raise as much funds and awareness as possible, as well as to ensure that all the guests left feeling satisfied and uplifted by the cause of the event. Ensuring that the guests felt satisfied and uplifted was a very vital part for us, as we wanted people to feel emotionally connected to the charity and the live event that we were putting on. From this, we then went on to create an event proposal. This was a 15-minute pitch to determine whether our event was actually feasible and had a potential for success. This was, I feel, was very successful. I had a great amount of time and involvement with the development of our Prezi, and I feel that our pitch was very confident. I feel that I was one of the more confident members within the group in terms of the delivery and spoke in a professional and engaging way, and this led to us getting a grade of 80%. So not only did I feel that I really excelled myself, I also felt that I contributed highly to the success of our pitch and ensuring that our ideas were put across as feasible with a potential for success. Moving on from this, we were then looking at the planning and looking at the Project Management Body of Knowledge Guide. It was to define and mature the project scope. So we did this through the Goldblatt's 5 W's of event management. As I've said, the reasons we did this was to raise money and awareness for our chosen charity, but also to gain experience within the live event management ourselves, due to us not having any at this stage. This would benefit the chosen charity through the awareness and funds, also the partners we became involved with, as well as the guests, which should benefit from an entertaining night out, but also being involved with promoting and awareness for a great charity. Our event was held on Tuesday the 13th of March and was held at the Phoenix in Coventry, and the resources required included a live band, venues, promotional tools, raffle prizes, and of course we needed guests. We then identified the planning process, and it was essential that we considered the end results at all times, and we learnt this through Baldwin's theory. So we created things such as a financial plan, an operational plan, and a marketing plan. I was involved in the marketing plan due to being one of the marketing managers, as well as a communication liaison officer. And as you can see from the screenshots, we looked at the 4 Ps in depth, as well as a SWOT analysis in terms of the marketing theories. And then we also created promotional materials such as this poster. Moving on to the execution of our event, we started the execution through fundraising our events to help create a budget for the running of the event, such as the band's petrol. We did this through many fundraisers. One of the more successful ones was a cake sale, which gave us a profit of £30. This actually allowed us to gain some control over our event, as it created a budget for the expenses we needed to look at. In terms of the on-the-night situation, as part of my communication liaison officer job roles, I was involved with and responsible for securing the band, the venue, and as many low price or free experiences as I could to get the wow factors for our event. I was lucky enough to secure the Phoenix as our venue, as no cost, as well as Garden as the live band at no cost. I then was in communication with many local businesses such as the popular nightclub Casbah, Pizza Hut and Wilkinson's as just a few examples, and they were all able to provide us either free raffle prizes for the night, or Pizza Hut provided us free pizzas for the night to really help entice customers in and get as much of a attendance as we could as possible for our event. I believe that I did my job role quite successfully, as I was able to communicate with these people on a professional level, but also in a sensitive way due to the topic that we were talking about, which of course is the Bradley Lowery Foundation. So from this, I would say that I was able to gain as much as I possibly could out of the local businesses and really tug on the heartstrings to gain as much as I possibly could in terms of everything that we managed to secure. When looking at the closing of the event, so the actual event itself, we had an attendance of 85 to 95 throughout the night, which we were really impressed with, as it meant that all promotional materials that we had done were successful, which I take great pride in due to me being the marketing manager. I felt I used my experience within marketing and my creative streak to the best of my ability. Looking at the funds we raised, we managed to raise £267, which created a ratio of profit at 1:7. So again, when reflecting these into the goals that we've been set, and have they been achieved, I'd say definitely yes, due to the fact that we wanted to actually bring in 75 people and raise funds at a ratio of 1:4. So these were definitely set, and our event was seamless. We had no issues, we had nothing to worry about, so that was great. But we also had the risk assessment and public liability insurance in place if there was something that we needed to look into doing due to an unexpected situation on the night. When looking at the reflection of the event, which is the main thing itself in this whole process for me, I started the process with no experience in the event industry and ended it with running a live music night event, not only doing that but at a successful rate, and really being able to develop myself as a person. I feel that the experiences I've been put through has developed my managerial skills in many ways, such as my cultural awareness, my communication and confidence. But this was mainly learnt through by the David Kolb's learning cycle. So to start with, I looked at the concrete experience of the event. So this was actually doing the activity. By reflecting on what I've done, I could then identify my strengths and weaknesses, and then obviously where I can go on to improving. So this led me to move on to the reflective observation. So to start with, looking at the success of the event, obviously the actual event itself was extremely successful, but in terms of my personal success, I'd say that I performed my job roles to a really high ability, being able to learn a lot of communication skills in terms of being cultural awareness, but also sensitivity as well, making sure that them topics are put across in the most professional and sensitive way as possible, and really being able to communicate and develop a relationship with the local partners was something of a great benefit for myself. I managed to improve confidence in my levels of speaking, as well as my organisational skills throughout the event. I feel were strengthened upon time. So by the end of the event, I feel I was a lot more organised and strict to my timekeepings than at the beginning of the event. When looking at this, I feel the weaknesses that I can identify was definitely my time management skills. I feel sometimes I get a little too excited about things and maybe spend too much time on things, and this can then actually let you down, because if you don't have the time, then you're going to miss out on something which you need to be doing. So that was extremely vital. I also feel that I'm very much so a perfectionist, so everything spends a lot of time on in my head. And this is something I do need to work upon, because due to this, we actually didn't secure the correct venue until the week before the pitch. So this then left rehearsals for the pitch to be a little more narrow than I would have liked, which caused extra stress. And of course, the more organised you are, the more smoothly things run. And I definitely feel I've learned that. So when looking at this in terms of abstract conceptualisation, the Baldwin theory has definitely helped me in this way, as he says that you need to be looking at the end results through all stages, and I definitely feel going forward in this is something I will look at even more so, as it can keep you in line with your timings, in line with the practicality and the reliability of what you're doing. And I feel that this is definitely something which I need to work on, but can work upon due to the fact of learning through Baldwin. So when looking at the actual planning and active experimentation of my Going forward in live events, I'd definitely say that this is something that I would really keep in mind and keep key, and can also say that I've really enjoyed this experience and cannot wait to be able to run a live event again. I'd like to thank you for your time